Hello, my name is Dr. Mary Wendt, and this is a video about how to write good paragraphs. So the first thing to think about is why we write paragraphs to begin with. Why do we chunk our writing into paragraphs rather than just writing? So the fact is that paragraphs are for your reader. They are to help readers know what each idea or each point is and to make it more clear. They are not natural. When we don't talk in paragraphs. We don't hit enter and then start a new paragraph. We generally don't have topic sentences or anything like that. But when you're writing, and you're writing especially in academic works, you want to make sure that you are clear to your reader and that you're thorough. And paragraphing helps do that. It helps your reader remember things. Our brains like chunks. They like things in small chunks. And if you chunk your information into paragraphs, your reader will not only understand your ideas better, but they will remember it better as well. So paragraphs are important to make sure that your ideas are clear and that they're communicated well. So for this video, I'm going to use this metaphor of the hamburger, which is kind of silly, but hopefully it will help you remember the ideas in the video and how to put together a paragraph when you go to write. So I want you to think of the paragraph as being like a hamburger, and that the top bun of your hamburger is your topic sentence. It is the first thing that you do is write a topic sentence. And then the condiments and the patty and everything in the middle, those are all the support you have for your topic sentence. And then you have to have a bottom bun, which is a last sentence, which is meant to reiterate the topic sentence. So let's go into these in more detail. First, let's look at the bun itself. If you think about a hamburger and how important it is to have a bun, it's what holds the whole thing together. So it's really important that first you tell your reader what your paragraph is going to be about, and that's called the topic sentence. So you want to make sure your first sentence tells your reader, here is what your whole paragraph is going to be about. It is very much like the introduction to a 5-paragraph essay, where your introduction tells your reader what the whole essay will be about. You want to make sure that your topic sentence is narrow enough to be talked about in just one paragraph, and that you are very specific. And if you find yourself wandering off topic or having too much to say, you probably don't have a narrow enough topic sentence and perhaps need a topic sentence that is more specific. And you want to make sure it has a clear claim and that it transitions well. So you have things like on the other hand or another point is. So those are important as well in your first sentence, in your topic sentence. One thing you do not want to do is start off your paragraphs with a quote. This is not a topic sentence. Your ideas should be the main point and the quotes should be used to support your ideas. The bottom bun, and if you think about it, a bun is one piece that has been split in two, and you want to make sure that your closing sentence is the same as your topic sentence in idea. If you read your last sentence and it does not say the same thing as your topic sentence, you've gotten off topic. You want to make sure that it reiterates what your point was to begin with. So you want to essentially repeat your main idea in different words. The middle part of your paragraph can contain many things. The idea of this middle is all support for the topic sentence. So if you think about your reader and the ideas you want to get across, you have a topic sentence, which is your point, and then you explain it. So you want to explain what your idea is in more depth. You want to give reasons for your idea and give examples, provide context. Examples are the meat. This is the most important part of a paragraph, is providing examples for your point. And quoting from outside sources is also a very important thing you can do, and that also supports your topic sentence. And you should also always explain your quotes and how that quote supports your main idea. So there are a lot of elements that can go into the body of the paragraph itself, and all of these are meant to support the topic sentence and explain it in more depth. They are not meant to get off topic and talk about something else. So let's look at a paragraph that does not work well. I'm just going to read it through quickly so you can get an idea of what it says, and then we'll go back and talk about it. Texting is not going to ruin the English language. Instead, I see texting as the latest manifestation of the human ability to be linguistically creative and to adapt language to suit the demands of diverse settings. Texting is convenient when we are places where talking is not possible, like in the waiting room, at the dentist, or during class. Then you can read and respond later. But it also makes people rude sometimes because they are on their phones when they should be talking to the person they are with. People don't talk to each other anymore. They just sit on their phones and text, which is awful. Okay, so you might think, well, this whole paragraph is about texting. Why is that a bad paragraph? Well, let's look at why it's a bad paragraph. First of all, we have to look at the topic sentence. The topic sentence tells the reader that the point of this whole paragraph is that you are going to explain how it is that texting is not ruining our language. The rest of the paragraph does not work towards supporting this. We have the topic of texting being convenient, and we have the topic of texting making people rude, and we have the topic of people not talking to each other anymore because they text. This is essentially 4 paragraphs. This should be a paragraph, this should be a paragraph, and this should be a paragraph. So instead of this paragraph spending time explaining how texting is not ruining the English language, it ends up bringing up 3 other things. And if you look at the last sentence, it does not help support the beginning of this paragraph. So let's look at a solid paragraph that works. Here's a good paragraph. Let's look. Here we have the first sentence is the second sentence from the previous paragraph, that texting is the latest manifestation of the human ability to be linguistically creative and to adapt language to suit the demands of diverse settings. So if this is a good paragraph, all of the sentences in this paragraph will support and explain this paragraph, or this sentence. Texting is not an abomination. It is just a dimension of the English language. That explains this. I don't think critics should be too worried that text lingo is going to ruin our language. It also reiterates this. The English language has survived this long. Some silly abbreviations aren't going to completely wipe out spelling, reading, and simple phonetics. Another support for this. Instead, texting clearly just shows how adaptive human beings can be. Also reiterating that first sentence. So this is a better paragraph. It's very brief. It doesn't have an example. It doesn't have a quote. So it's just a short paragraph, but it does stay on topic, which makes it a good paragraph. It's also important to think about the fact that paragraphs come in varieties. Some are going to be longer and some are going to be shorter. The one we just saw was more like this one. It just had a couple of sentences that were opinions that supported and explained this idea. You may have paragraphs that are significantly longer, like this one, that include the quotes and explanations and maybe an example or two. So you may have paragraphs that are longer. Both are good. Having a variety of them is a good idea. You don't want all of your paragraphs to be gargantuan like this one. The readers will get overwhelmed, and you don't want them all too simple as well. So a variety of paragraphs will make your writing more interesting. So as you build your essay, keep in mind that each paragraph should be a single idea with its own bun and should all hold together. It is a pile of hamburgers. It is not a whole bunch of patties piled up and a whole pile of tomatoes. It is each paragraph should be its own singular idea put together to create a pile of hamburgers or a pile of paragraphs. So, main takeaways from this: remember that your paragraphs are for the reader. You're trying to be reader friendly. Remember that each paragraph should have one main idea or point. This is the one that trips up people the most. Remember that you need a solid topic sentence and a solid closing sentence. And remember that all of the middle parts of your paragraph should support the topic sentence. And that's how to write a good paragraph.